Whoops. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. First cup, August 23rd. Had a good time. And now I'm back. Why didn't it unmute? I should have fixed that. I'm sorry. Anyway. So he says, Jeremy arrived, but his voice is still in Oregon on the trails. I kind of wish. It was great out there. Yeah. Dennis is driving to work. Good morning, John. There we are. Things are very sluggish with this morning. I'm not quite sure why, but 'tis what it is. I have to say, the notion that I just traveled cross country to teach was pretty cool. And then I got to spend time with people that I really like. Made it that much better. Had a lot of fun. I felt challenged. It was not the easiest seminar I've done, not by a long shot. There were some things that I even in the moment, I'm like, okay, I can do this better. I can do this better. There were things after I was thinking about, okay, I could do this better. There were some things I did really well. There were some points that I hit that I know were great. But that's the beauty of what I'm doing, is it has room for improvement. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Frank. Everybody's back. We're all back where we're supposed to be. That's pretty great. Today isn't too intensive a day. I've got some stuff that was normally would have happened on Monday is moved into today. It's not a recording day, so the timing of this all worked out pretty well. Andrew and I have a meeting. We're talking about free training day. And yeah, just a reminder, 3 free training days this year, October 15th in Atlanta, October 22nd out in Portland and New Hampshire, November 12th. Got a bunch of cool stuff going on. Met somebody. So somebody steps in to the seminar. They walk in maybe 10 minutes after I started. He starts moving around, and I'm watching, right? Because this is someone who is not wearing a uniform that lines up with what anybody else is. And they're late. So we've got some yellow flags. I got to keep an eye on this person. And starts getting into stuff, starts doing some things with everyone I'm watching. I'm like, oh, this guy gets it. This guy's been around. He obviously trained some things that other people do not train. And he did a phenomenal job. And he was actually kind of one of my go-tos, like just watching people, just like, okay, this guy gets it. And at the end, we're chatting. And I don't know how many of you this name will mean anything, but it's like, and I was kind of telling him, evolution of my opinion on him from concern to this is one of the people in the room I have the least amount of concern for. And I said, tell me more about what you do. And we get to this point, we're talking, and come to find out he's from the East Coast. So we're throwing names back and forth. And he's like, yeah, I played Mario Kart with Ray Daniels. And I was like, could have led with that. That told me all I needed to know. So he'll be teaching at Free Training Day. Desmond Diaz. Whenever I meet someone that I go on Facebook, I'm like, oh, we have, I think in this case, it's 13 mutual friends that are martial artists. Not the marketing folks who friend everyone, but actual martial artists that I know and have hung out with. Yeah, so excited for Des to teach. And yeah, it's going to be a good day. Stacy says, we for 3. I was kind of sad yesterday that I couldn't do a live show for a reveal of the episode of Martial Arts Radio. Now, I think all of you are aware that it was Jenny's husband, and we all knew about this weeks ago, and he asked us not to say anything. So that meant that I had to do some things a little bit differently with some stuff. I had to double check how we were doing some things in Patreon. Yeah. But now it's out there. I think it came out great. It was nice to get to talk to Matt. Ooh. I'm still exhausted. I slept on the plane. I slept for a couple hours when I got home. And I still slept 9 hours last night, and I'm still exhausted. There was so much going on. Jenny says, weeks, friends, weeks. Yeah, it was a long time, but it was worth it. I think it was worth it. I don't know if you think it was worth it, Jenny. But, yeah, we talked a bunch about Free Training Day. I got to see the space that we're going to do out in Portland. Just a reminder, you're all invited. I understand logistically it doesn't make sense for everyone, but you are all invited to Portland. And I don't know what flights are doing right now, price-wise. I know that the flight that I just took was double what I'm paying for October, so you might have some better choices if you take a look at flying out. And if you get together on hotel rooms, it's not going to be that much. I'm going to be there for about 48 hours. It's Free Training Day with about 12 hours on either side. So I will once again be exhausted when I come back. In fact, I'll need to clear a couple days to catch up. Coffee's good this morning. Oh, Jenny says, it was so worth it. I cried several times listening to the episode, happy and proud tears. That means a lot. Today's coffee is coffee I brought back because Gabe and Jenny don't bring coffee. So I had to buy coffee because I wanted coffee. Because the last thing I'm going to do when I'm traveling cross country and I'm exhausted and sleep deprived is not have coffee. But I've got a thing of Seattle's Best. It's good coffee. It's not the best stuff I've had, but in terms of coffee value, it's quite good. It's just quite good. Morning, Andy. So I want to hear about your weekend. I didn't get to talk to you guys yesterday. So tell me about your weekend. What did you do? What were the high points, especially if they had to do with any kind of training, competition, martial arts stuff? And I want to know the same for today. What do you have going on today? I've got a meeting with Justin. I know we'll be talking about Free Training Day. I've got a couple ideas on some things that we'll be rolling out for Free Training Days. Andrew and I have our meeting. So I don't want to say we're down to the wire because we're not, but we're getting close. We're just shy of 2 months for the first two. And what does that have us? About 3 months for New England. We've got some things that we're locking in. Logos are done, and that's kicking off a whole bunch of cool stuff. Frank says, I wonder what kind of tea Gabe drinks. I saw both of them drinking a variety of, I think I saw a couple different kinds of tea. We didn't really talk tea. But, Yeah. Andy went for a motorcycle ride. It was a beautiful day for it. It did look from my, from 3,000 miles over the weather app that the weather back here was pretty good. It's supposed to rain today, which, isn't a bad thing. Not that we're completely dry, but wouldn't mind having a little bit of rain. Oh, that's who received their fourth. Okay. Stacy says black belt promotions where one of our students became master, Lexi Smith, and about 10 others for first through third. That's awesome. Good morning, Josh. When did I saw Lexi? Not that long ago. March, April, somewhere in there. She was at a tournament. She did a nice job especially for her first time competing. What, 12 years? I think her mom said. Time to pour more coffee. Kelly took her oldest to St. Lawrence for her last year. That sounds bittersweet. I hope she has a great year. Stacy got time in the pond. Oh, and Dennis says, what kind of monster can function without drinking coffee? Not everyone drinks coffee. I don't get it. I have gone through phases in my life where I've stopped drinking coffee. But I'm also not someone who gets headaches without caffeine. My caffeine addiction is much more psychological than physical. So to go without at points, I can go in and out. Especially if I'm sick, I don't drink caffeine, which I guess that's proof that I'm not sick. I definitely there was something due to sleep deprivation, my immune system being suppressed, fighting to take hold, and it's barely there. A little bit of sneezing, a little bit of coughing, but another night of lots of sleep, and I should be good to go. At least, fingers crossed. And Josh suggests, I guess, in the place of coffee, Monster Energy drink. Oh, what kind of monster? Ah, see, that's funny. I'm not awake. That's funny. That's really funny. So of course, if you haven't checked out yesterday's episode with Matt, please do. It was a lot of fun to record, regardless of any kind of clandestine release. It was a lot of fun. And I think that's anything else to really say. No, today's intentionally a lighter day as we get things kind of up and running. By things, I mean my life. I got back, I watered plants. I told you I napped, I showered. It was funny. I'm in the airport and I'm like, somebody stinks. I'm like, I think it's me, but I showered. It was the garlic. Gabe eats a lot of garlic, and he made me some scrambled eggs the last day. It was Sunday, and put a lot of garlic in. It was great. It was the garlic coming through my skin. I was like, whoa. So Gabe, I showered because I smelled like garlic. And other than that, there's just stuff everywhere. Pre going away stuff, post going away stuff. There's stuff. So no. Good morning, Lou. Lou says Lou's one of our I think newer followers on YouTube. So shout out to him. He says, good morning. I'm not much for talking in the morning, so I'm perfectly happy just sitting here listening for now. Only good part of the morning is consumption of caffeine. Well, Lou, you are not alone. If you go back to early days of First Cup, if you check out the first probably 200 to 300 episodes, I wasn't much for talking in the morning either. Gabe says, you're welcome and I'm sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. Dennis took his youngest back to school this weekend. Josh says, who knew garlic would help the social distancing on the plane and in the airport? Well, there was absolutely no distancing. Plane coming back was practically full. I paid for an upgrade so I could have an aisle seat because the only aisle seats left, there was one left in an exit row. And I tend to stay pretty hydrated on a plane. And so the idea of climbing over people does not excite me. And just a kind of a negative shout out to JetBlue. I wasn't permitted to carry on because the fare that I bought on Expedia did not permit me a carry on. Somehow I missed that. Wouldn't have bought that fare. And the guy behind the counter is trying to tell me, he's like, oh, yeah, if you buy from Expedia, this is quite common. I said, dude, I've been buying from Expedia for 10 years. I have been on every airline imaginable except JetBlue. This has literally never happened. And he was surprised. Like, well, what am I to draw from this event? And I should probably not fly on JetBlue. Thanks. And Jenny suggests maybe apologize to the other folks on the plane. Well, you know what? It's a plane. Everybody on a plane is gross. Flying from New York to Burlington, I ended up in my own row, which I think happened on the way down as well. I did pretty well flight-wise. I only had, let's see, did I have any flights where I was sitting next to someone? No. I had no flights where I sat directly next to someone out of the 4. That's a win. That is a big win right there. All right. Now, I know Frank sent over some stuff for us, and he asked that I remind you that for those of you who listen to the audio, he has started doing the audio conversions again. That was on hiatus while Frank was on his leave of absence, but those are there again, and you can start listening to First Cup if you so choose. What am I doing? I'm going in here. I'm out of practice. Here we go. All right. And I gotta go over here because I'm not remembering how I do. How do I do this show? Where am I? What's my name? All right, this thing needs to refresh. Come on, try harder. Do. Anybody do anything fun this week? Today? What are you doing? You doing anything cool? No? Okay. Any day you want to, try it all laptop would be great. It's just kind of sitting there doing a bunch of nothing. What if I click this instead? Will this work? It's being very frustrating. All right. Well, since that's not working, I'm not going to be putting them on the screen. I'm just going to read them to you. Stacy's working from the Fairfield office today, aka Camp Smashy Smash. So yesterday was National Bao Day. August 22nd is the perfect day to indulge in Chinese takeout or go out to your favorite Chinese restaurant because it is National Bao Day. I may celebrate that later today then. It was created to celebrate one of the most iconic dishes of Chinese culture. And apologies to everyone for my pronunciation. Josh has no carry-on. That's like saying you can enter a tournament, but you have to buy your uniform and sparring gear at the event. Yeah. And I put it up on Instagram. My tickets, my boarding passes, literally in big, bold letters. Can I show you this? No. Actually, wait. No, it was on my Instagram story, so it's gone by now. Literally said in the corner, big, bold letters, no carry-on. So if I tried to ignore it, they charged me $35 to check my bag. Why did I do it that way? Because if I tried to sneak through and they caught me, they were going to charge me $65 to check my bag at the gate. You know how every other airline says, hey, you know what? If there isn't room on the plane, we'll gate check your carry-on for free. JetBlue's like, no, we're going to make money on it. I don't know when JetBlue became Spirit and Frontier with, we're going to charge you to use the bathroom kind of stuff, but I'm not impressed. Pardon me, my nose is running a little bit. All right. Good morning, Gad. Kelly says they moved my dad into a rehab facility, which is a good thing. That's heavy, but yeah. I'm sorry. And she's going to be in St. Albans today, which is a bit north of where she normally is. How long does it take to get there? That's probably an hour, maybe a little more. All right, so let's get back to this. Baozi, often shortened to simply Bao, is a steam-filled bun made of yeast-leavened dough. Bao are found in various regional Chinese cuisines. They have developed from mantou, a type of steam bun popular in northern China. The main difference between mantou and Baozi is that the former is unfilled and the latter has a sweet or savory filling inside. Back in the day, the term mantou referred to both kinds of buns. The first use of the term Baozi was recorded during the Song dynasty, 960 to 1279. There are two main types of bao depending on their size. Dabao, big buns, is about 4 inches in diameter, and jiaobao, small buns, is about 2 inches. Both types can have very savory, sweet fillings. They are usually served in a steamer and accompanied by condiments, soy sauce, etc. Popular fillings include different types of meat, shrimp, salted egg, vegetables, bamboo shoots, pickles, black sesame paste, lotus seed paste, red bean paste, custard, and others. These remind me of. I've had these, and they're amazing, and they're probably one of my favorite types of Chinese food because they don't sit as heavy, like they're not as greasy because they're steamed. These buns are one of the most popular Chinese dishes outside China. They have been adopted into various Asian cuisines like Mongolian, Thai, Vietnamese, etc., and are a staple in Chinese restaurants across the world, as well as popular street food in many countries. The street food thing makes sense. If you've never tried them, you should know there are many different kinds for you to choose from. For example, char siu bao are filled with Cantonese barbecued pork. Xiaolong bao are small bao filled with minced pork or other meats. They are sometimes referred to as dumplings, though they are different from true Chinese dumplings such as jiaozi or wonton. Tang bao are large baozi filled with rich soup. I'm sure Josh is sitting here cringing at my pronunciation. I'm doing my best. National Bao Day is one of those food days that have been created by various businesses. It was launched in 2017 by Wow Bao, a Chicago-based chain of fast casual Asian restaurants that operates several hundred locations in the US and Canada. I like Chinese food. I don't generally do Chinese food because most Chinese food is greasy and heavy, and I don't feel good after eating it. It's not the MSG thing. It's just that it's heavy. It's a heavy meal. But there is a place not too far away, and their food's pretty good. So I will probably grab their menu on the way to the gym. Actually, I don't think I have one on the fridge. I'll grab one on the way to the gym and call in an order that has some manner of bao with it. Okay. All right. Well, Gad says, as a Chinese teacher, I can say your pronunciation is not bad. I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. Not bad. Fine for me. Trying to think, was there something else I wanted to share with you guys? Somebody ordered one last week, and it did ship. If you ordered a swag pack like a few months ago when we released them, there are different things going in them now. $5 swag pack with your at least $5 gift code towards a future order. You just can't use it on another swag pack. You can use it on just about anything else. Reminder, All In Weekend has some spots left. If that's something you've been waiting on, we are expecting to sell out. We are far more. Remember, we sold way more than this just pretty much in like 3 months. We haven't even begun heavy promotion because we're worried about free training day, and it's more than half sold. I think we're at 17 out of 28, so there are 11 spots left. If it's something you want to do, please do not wait. It is going to be an awesome event, an awesomer event than it was this year. And I think we're going to call that good. So I'm going to start slowly preparing for my day. It's interesting, at this time of day over the last couple of days, I was asleep, including yesterday, because I was exhausted and I was on plane. I hope you have a great day. I hope that if you're willing to help us out, here are the two biggies. If you're willing to spend money, we've got the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. We've got the code FirstCup15 to save 15% at whistlekick.com. We've got the family page. Oh, you better believe there are going to be some fun family page updates this week. There's so much stuff that I took pictures of and thought and observed and did. And the family page is kind of like a free Patreon. And that's what I want it to be. So if you aren't checking it out, please do. If you have feedback or anything, don't forget, reach out. Email's the best, jeremy@whistlekick.com, but many of you are connected to me over various social media platforms, and that's fine. The only thing I ask is please don't give me something to do over Messenger or Instagram or whatever, because it needs to get into my workflow, and email is how I create workflow. Man, this thing is running like that. I'm going to have to reboot. Lou says, have a great day. Need more coffee. Thank you, Lou. You too. Take care. Josh says bao just means bag, very similar to a character that is pronounced the same way but means hold. Interesting. Gad says there's also something called a mantou. Oh, okay. I was pronouncing that wrong. Also steamed but more rectangular. In Taiwan, we cut it in half and put a fried egg in between. So kind of like a little sandwich. Cool. I really enjoy what I would consider to be more authentic Asian food. It always just kind of sits lighter than a lot of other food. Thai, I'd say in my area, Thai is probably, from my understanding, the closest to authentic. And I can eat a ton of Thai food and feel great. I don't feel hungover the next morning like I often do with the local Chinese food. And that's not a dig on China or Chinese food. I love Chinese food, but remember where I live. Okay. Authentic cuisine is not exactly something we do up here. I had some of the best barbecue I've ever had, and I was really thankful they did turkey. And it was funny because it kept showing up. The last day I was there, we ended up at a social gathering with some folks that Gabe and Jenny know. And it was that restaurant who had catered it. And so they had huge platters of turkey. I was like, awesome. Going to town. Stacy is right. Single Pebble Chinese is amazing. They do make some great food. One of my favorite spots. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you back here tomorrow for Wednesday. And that's it. Take care, everybody. Be well. Peace.